Yeah, Suzette and I met kind of by chance. I was interested in taking some of my business efforts and attention to the Caribbean more often. I've been fortunate to spend some time in the Caribbean working, and wanted to spend more time in the Caribbean working. And it was the Curacao Business Network that I came across on Facebook and reached out, and just a matter of offering to help, to support however I could from afar, led to an introduction meeting that I think changed our lives in a way that we didn't know would. I do recall our first Zoom call, our first virtual meeting, and it was like our minds were already like the same thing, like just the way we thought and talked and ambition and just, I don't know, a sense of being. It was odd but inspiring, to say the least. And so that kind of turned into strategic planning and goal setting, and a lot more trips and a lot more brainstorming and a lot more how are we going to do this. And now we have a movement, like it just kind of feels surreal to say that we're starting a movement. But yeah, what a ride it's been so far.
It's been incredible. And if I think back, it's not even been a year. It's this year that it all happened. And when I look back into this year and reflecting upon this year and wow, everything that we've accomplished, and certainly when you reached out to me on Facebook and how can I help, it was the timing was perfect. And when you speak about alignment, that's exactly what it was. It was perfect timing. It was a perfect question to ask at that point, because there was Caribbean or Curacao Business Network still. We've been doing it for 2.5 years. I was at a point where, okay, what's next, kind of, and am I going to continue doing this alone? I realized, building something like this alone is not always a good idea. It's not easy. And you just came absolutely at the right time. And as you say, I mean, that first conversation was true alignment. I know there were a few words that we were kind of, wow, okay, this is just really incredible. And our journey for the past year has been exactly that. It's just everything happened at the right time. And I think the one message that I can certainly take from this experience and this year is alignment is just so key. And when you know yourself and you know where you want to go and you know what your purpose and your vision and your values are, you will automatically find and attract the people that will take you forward. And that's exactly what happened, because oh my gosh, did we go forward?
Right.
Did things happen?
Like you said,
after that,
it hasn't been a year, but it's almost constant when we just have to look at each other and giggle at the synchronicities, the people that we need to talk to at the right time, the support that we get at the right time, the ideas that come at us at the right time. And it's almost comedic, I guess. It's funny how things just align. And I know we sitting in conference meetings, or we're on a development call or something, and we'll say we'll talk the same language, like you're taking words out of my mouth and vice versa. But there's also moments where someone will say something in a talk, or we'll be in a conversation with somebody, and and it's like what we've already been feeling or what we already had sensed, and then we just look at each other like there's another synchronicity, there's another one. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
But that's how you know. I feel like we're aligned in something that's far more important and far more impactful than even what we want for our own aims and our own mission and goals. There's a literal movement here, and we're going to change the world.
So why don't we talk more about, okay, what have we created this year? Let's start with that before we get into
what have we created.
What are we
this year?
creating for next year?
A lot of sleepless nights. No, I think what started as the Curacao Business Network was the recipe that we knew we needed to. There I did it again. It was a recipe of something that we knew could be replicated elsewhere, with the right people, with the right energy, with the right alignment. And it starts, number one, with the community, the in-person networking events, supporting each other as entrepreneurs or small businesses or startups, and then taking the next step of your entrepreneurial journey to be able to network, not just in person handing out business cards, but also in an online space. And in that online space of the platform is also the associations and the economic interest groups, chambers of commerce that exist to support that community. So bringing to the same table every stakeholder, every subject matter expert that you need to be successful, including other members of that community. So I think in a roundabout way, that's it. But you say it much better. I'm going to let you talk about it now.
Yeah, I think before we delve into into the platform, because that kind of almost takes us into a different sector and took us into a different sector.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when we were talking about initially Curacao Business Network, because that's where it started, I invited you to one of our in-person meetings, because at that point, for me, those meetings were magical. Every single meeting, the new people that came, the existing people that always came, consistently, that saw the value of in-person networking. But I did say to you, Ryan, I can't explain it. You've got to come and feel it for yourself, right? You've got to come and experience it for yourself. And what's the one word maybe that you can use to describe our in-person events? Because I think it's such a big part of it. When I listen to especially new people that hasn't been to the events, they all comment about the diversity, of course, and that's what we aim for. We want everyone to be included, whether you are in business or not yet, whether you're an economic interest group, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you've been in business for many, many years. We all need to network, right? We all need to meet people and collaborations are formed, etc. So that is the one thing that people do take from our in-person events. I think the other one is that it is a space where people can be real, and they can authentic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's as you say, it's not a business card exchange exercise. See how quickly you can fill your Rolodex kind of exercise. It's really building connections, and I've seen friendships and collaborations form over the years, and that's truly magical. But what's the word that you would use to describe it?
I remember the invitation, and I thought to myself, okay, yeah, I've networked. I've gone to networking meetings before, and some small, some very big. I was like, okay, sure, a networking meeting in the Caribbean, that's going to be nice. I wasn't prepared for the measurable, almost electrifying static of positive energy. It was people of various stages on their entrepreneurial journey. I mean, even thinking back, I think it was March or April, the first one. There was an IT startup. There was a well-known construction company CEO that was there. There was somebody that hadn't even started yet, and they were just thinking about entrepreneurship. All of them were just engaging and in their comfortable self to be able to just talk about what's going on, some of their struggles. Yeah, I'm here to meet, but I'm also here to socialize a little bit. And I mean, it's explained as magic, but you don't understand the full definition of the magic until you feel it. It is, you can physically feel the energy and the connection with other people. That's what's so amazing. And maybe it's the island, maybe it's the region, maybe it's mostly you. Nonetheless, it was actually really inspiring to hear some of that same ethos made its way to Aruba as well recently.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we think it's the island, and of course, Curacao is a fantastic island with amazing people and so much creativity. It's mind blowing, but it was interesting and it was daunting when we started in Aruba, because you don't know what to expect, different culture, different everything, and it was truly amazing when we launched. From the first minute, it was such a welcoming atmosphere. I mean, here I am, South African in the Caribbean. You have to wonder sometimes. People think, who are you to come and build our community? And maybe it is that. Maybe it is the external. Maybe it's the African influence, a little bit of Dutch influence. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a huge combination. But I think a big part of that is people are ready. People are ready to have real relationships. We all, we watch the TikToks, we watch the Facebook, whatever. You don't know what is AI and what is real anymore. So I think the bigger increase in AI and digital space there is, the more need will there be for interpersonal relationships. And Aruba was equally magical, and I'm extremely excited to see where we go in the rest of the Caribbean. And I know that I now know this is a recipe for that we can expand into the Caribbean, and I know that those relationships will be there. I think our ambassadors are extremely important. Giandro de Cuba from Aruba is amazing, 100% aligned with our mission and our vision, our values, and if we can continue that path, across the Caribbean, I know in my heart that we are ready. Business is ready. This is a new way of doing business, I do believe. Perhaps an old way.
Sure. Yeah.
Reinvented. But yeah, I think that is exactly what it is. And the personal relationships are magical. It's crazy. You see youngsters coming in, and when I say youngsters, I feel old, I suppose, in their 20s, and they come and they want to build this app and this IT business or this pool business, or take a business over from their parents and continue legacies. It's incredible to be part of that.
Which kind of goes back to that new old way. Somebody, we'll call them youngsters because they are, has that intuitive just understanding that I need a network. I need somebody that's good at bookkeeping, because I'm not. I need help with my website or whatever it might be. And before, I guess, at least for me, when I was first starting out as an entrepreneur, what all can I learn to do it all myself and operate in the silo, like a self-built silo of myself, just to try and make it as profitable and solopreneur as I can. That's not the case anymore, and maybe it wasn't the case back then, 20 years ago. Wow, we are getting old.
We are.
maybe it networking was more of a thing, but I feel like now in the age of, social media, and we talk about, the social networks, it's a little more commonplace, I think, that a startup or an entrepreneur understands that they don't have to do it alone. And if you just look for your community or just show that you're open, there's engagement there. There's support from other sectors and other professionals that have gone through it in a mentorship way, but also just in a supporting the community way. They want you to succeed. There's so many people. And that was part of the magic of the networking meetings.
Yeah, but also talking about solopreneurs and finding the right people to surround yourself with. So you identify you need a marketing guru, or you identify you need a social media person, or whatever it is that you need right then in your business. For me, when I was a solopreneur, I came to the realization, of course, at one stage that Suzette, you can't do this by yourself. You need people. But for me, it was an extremely difficult thing to do, to find and know where to find the right people. I mean, you've got Upwork and you've got all these digital platforms where you can, find experts in certain fields. But that didn't work for me, because if I want to work with someone, I want to be connected with them. I want to know that they are on board with my vision and my mission. Mm-hmm. I want to know that they are aligned with my values. I need an aligned person. There's nothing worse than working with someone who doesn't get you, working with someone who you feel, no, there's a disconnect. And this person is just simply not aligned, and what is even worse is ending that relationship and starting over, and that it's not only time consuming, it's costly, it's frustrating. So and I think that's probably a good transition to move on to our platform. Let's talk about our platform. What are we intending to do with this platform? For me personally, initially it was going to be a directory. So it's going to be a directory where you can find businesses. Well, it's evolving into way more than that.
Evolution, for sure. We found ourselves in an IT sector, and I didn't know that we were prepared fully for what was in front of us. But through the network, we found very good support. Through our own communities, we found a lot of help to get our idea where it needed to be. Mm-hmm. And that idea was to, more than just a directory, be able to provide our members a networking space that could, at the best of our ability, capture that energy and that magic during the networking sessions into an online space. And after explaining it so many times, the simple way to say it is, there are platforms and networks out there that exist for your social side of things. There are ones that exist for your career side of things. I don't want to say them. But what hasn't existed up until now is a network for your business. Thus, the OCBN, One Caribbean Business Network. You can find support where you need to find support. You can find resources that you didn't know you should probably be looking for. And you can also find the industry-leading organizations that are supporting those communities and those sectors of various industries for their support and bringing everybody to the table.
Yeah, for sure. For me, there used to be a gap. I loved the networking, got so much energy out of the networking, met incredible people. But for me, it was like, okay, what happens in between the networking sessions, right? There needed to be a way for us to continue those conversations, continue the connections, and of course, be reminded. You meet so many people at a networking event, and you can't possibly connect with every one of them right there. And very often, because I organize these events, people would come to me afterwards, and who was that? Oh, who was that? Oh, who can I speak to about this? And I thought, okay, this is as much as I want to help everybody. It's just impossible. First of all, I need to remember everybody's name and what it is that they do, and I've got certain limitations. So that's where the platform is so incredibly valuable, because now on the platform you can find those people, you can message them, you can connect with them directly. You can, as a business, also use the platform to post and show your expertise, that you are an expert in a certain area, and that you are and share value, share that kind of information. But you can also now, of course, there was something else that was missing for me, and that is smaller cohorts. Like, the young entrepreneurs, they needed a space. And again, as the co-founders of this, we can't do it all by ourselves. We need to rely on the community to continue growing and creating amazing things in the community. So there's definitely a space through the groups for smaller cohorts. Then, as you mentioned, I mean, we just both came out of a conference, and literally I sit there at these conferences and I hear all these economic interest groups, the CNEXs and the small business associations and the chambers of commerce. They all have so much going on. And as a business in any island in the Caribbean, if you're doing business obviously across the island, that is even a bigger challenge. How do you stay up to date in terms of what is going on? What are the projects that they are busy with? What are the opportunities? There's just so much information, and I think that is where we really want to add value, is to bring the entrepreneurs together and really link them with those associations. And
sometimes, especially as a startup, there's things that we don't know, and we don't know we should know. Certainly the chambers and some of those other associations are engaged to a certain degree on other platforms, where ours was specifically catered to give those associations and governing agencies more of a platform and a direct connection to the communities, the what's the word? Industries that they are supposed to be, they exist for supporting. And so I make reference to bringing everybody to the table. It's a very important table when now you have an understanding of what the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce is, what the purpose of this particular association is for helping a startup, or implementing new regulations for a particular industry. Like, that's the connection that's been missing on those other platforms. That's the missing link that I think we're filling.
Yeah, exactly. You get lost in the noise of those other platforms. And let's talk about having a seat at the table.
Are we ready for that yet?
Without alluding too much. I think what is important is, before we talk about real plans, logistic, whatever plans for our platform for next year, I think, creating a business from start, you're not always ready to employ, of course, people that you need, and that's where we see our platform going, is creating this boardroom table for every business. And who are you going to invite to become part of your boardroom table? Who's going to be your seat?
Being able to mix that in with a resource-rich environment for everybody at that table, so that the economic interest groups have more attention to the events that are, just as important as a grand opening for an entrepreneur, and that online environment, when I say resource-rich, comes with a lot of development, comes with a lot of patience that we're learning, efforts that go, to the type of skill set that's way beyond our ability. But we've got a good team, and we've got a lot of awesome things in the works, and is why I know in my heart that what we're creating is going to change a lot of lives and a lot of communities in the best way possible.
Yes, we use the word impact. Should we talk about the marketplace and the LMS leading up to
Yes.
the keynote?
So part of these developments that we have underway right now, a resource-rich platform, is going to include a learning management system, commonly referred to as an LMS, for the associations, even other entrepreneurs or small businesses that have course material for sale. But more importantly is a part of our platform that allows an industry-leading association or a chamber of commerce to provide accredited courses for the community, something that's a little bit more formal, whether it's specific for a career type or, a change in industry standards. That's what the LMS is meant for. And also the marketplace, which is, I think you explain it best. I'm going to let you.
Because the marketplace is exciting. I mean, what we want to do, and I think this is where we're going to really create impact, is providing a platform for businesses, any business. We found that, particularly Curacao, and I'm sure many of the other islands are similar, is that Facebook used to be the place of business. Not many of the small businesses had websites or still has websites. And so how do they get their products across? And I do believe in supporting local. We really do. If you're operating in a certain environment, you need to support them. It's a win-win for everybody. And our marketplace is going to be that place where you can promote your products and you can showcase your services and everything that you have to offer. And I'm not even thinking about the crafters that sells crafts, and the food trucks and the. So we're talking every single business will have a space to promote their business, and I think that would be freaking amazing.
It only makes sense for it to be on a business network, right?
Exactly.
And you mentioned that who should not be named, but you said it anyway. Facebook. There is a lot of stuff that gets lost there. It's just so filled with ads and I mean, depending on your algorithm, can just be a sea of not good things. But if there was a network or a place that you could scroll that was relevant to your business and what's going on with my local chamber, or what grand opening can I go to this weekend with the family, it's there. Mm-hmm. And what a better place to start than in the Caribbean, where these islands really depend on that buy locals. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to have to trademark that, because that's a pretty brilliant slogan that we could probably take to the region. But yeah, I think it just makes sense. And again, is why I feel like what we're creating right now is probably a lot bigger than we even understand it at this point. We know it's big, and we've got some ideas, and yeah, wow, this is this is going to be crazy when we go to this island and this island, and then, well, what about the diaspora community? And we have the impact is going to grow beyond the Caribbean region. But I just feel fortunate that we can, call it born here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then our last edition, maybe not last, but definitely not least, but bringing it all together in an app. So I know we've been wanting an app for the longest time, and now finally in the next couple of months we will have our app. So you will know when someone sent you a message. You will know instantly when someone's reaching out to you, and in future it will be much more magical without eluding too much.
At your fingertips.
Yes.
Yeah. There's with any development, with any platform that somebody's going to be creating, whether you've got users and user-generated content, there will, by default, have to be improvements. And so we anticipate a large development team, and there's going to be new renditions, and we welcome that feedback on how things could be more functional, more user-friendly, so that as the app grows, we're growing it in such a way that the community expects it, and we're taking into account what they hope to get out of the app, changing for the better. And that's another reason why I'm really proud that we have incorporated as a foundation, so we don't have to be beholden to a board of directors that needs to make sure that our quarterly profit earnings are showing what they need to show. Of course, we need to still be able to pay our bills, but we can do that and still hold true to our own values and bring something magical to the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, we haven't really talked about that, but that was a very important decision for us to make. Are we going to be a non-profit, or are we going to be a profitable business? And we made that decision that we're doing this for impact. We're doing it for being connected and enhancing collaborations and co-creating. That's exactly why we're doing it, and we want to unite the Caribbean. And what better way to do it as a non-profitable business?
Absolutely.
So we've got a lot of enhancements that we are planning in the next couple of months, and let's talk about how we're going to showcase those. What does our audience have to look out for, and how are they going to become aware of everything that we are going to roll out in the next couple of months?
Well, as the conversations continue with the local governing bodies and economic interest groups, we're doing our best to create a buzz. But we need to get that message to the rest of the region first. And we'll see about the world in a year or two. We'll see how fast the concept gets picked up. But the intent is, of course, One Caribbean Business Network. And our keynote address to other governing bodies is going to kick off our trade mission that we have planned for end of February. In this keynote, we're going to kind of showcase a bit of the app, the platform itself, some of the functions and features and resources. At the same time, we'll be able to hopefully announce some other really cool, awesome things that are coming out, but it'll be mostly an introduction to what the concept is and how we aim to support the startups and the entrepreneurial community, in the same space as the economic interest groups that exist to serve those people.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm truly excited to take this keynote and our product formally and widely into the Caribbean. And maybe in closing, should we what is our vision for 2026?
Get me through this interview first, and then we can eat. Then we'll talk 2026. Honestly, I can feel the energy for the new year, and the goals that we've set for ourselves just in the first quarter are going to be huge, and I think that's going to start the propelling process for the rest of the year. I think our goal is finding the right ambassador to help in those communities. The in-person networking events are just as important as the platform. And as we start adding ambassadors and start growing the community online and seeing the support, I just can only imagine by the end of next year where we're going to be. So, I mean, let's just get through this year first. I'm kidding. Questions for you. What do you see?
So I think the invitation is out there. We need to make sure that the invitation is out there for anyone who feels aligned with our vision and our mission to reach out to us, to connect with us, whether it's an economic interest group, whether it's a potential ambassador on an island, new jurisdiction, and to start those conversations. That's definitely in the beginning of the year. That's what I would like to do, is connect with as many people as possible, and yeah, I definitely see our app developing into something amazing, and our platform developing in something amazing. I see Aruba growing phenomenally because we've got an amazing ambassador there. And I definitely see us expanding into the Caribbean, and we don't, although we strategize, we're very much energy-led and universe-led, and I'm excited
Indeed.
to see where is the next ambassador going to pop up from, and where's the next chapter going to be in the Caribbean, and obviously next year. So there will be a few, and that's what I'm excited about. That's what's going to happen.
I'm excited about having more of these dialogues because it's kind of fun to reflect, but it's also, I think, important to capture some of this early stage. So
absolutely,
I would just say let's commit ourselves to doing more of these sit downs and kind of reviewing what's going on, what's coming up, some wins and some lessons learned, and we could kind of see how better we're gonna get when I'm not messing with the mic all the time, or when I'm not just waiting for lunch, because I'm very hungry, but I'm also tired. I'm so sorry. We probably could have been better. We should have done jumping jacks or something.
You did fantastic. Yeah, I think we're good. How do we close? Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for postponing lunch for this.
Give me a high five. We do that so well.